right, guys, we're back to the channel. It's time to play some more Legacy. It's Dimir week, so we have to play some more Dimir. Today I'm going to be working on my big tempo deck. I did well a few weeks back. Final split, top 4, and had to skip a week, unfortunately. But now it's back to trying to solve what's going on, looking at the numbers from Metagame Monday, using the solutions from Metagame Monday After Dark. That is a YouTube member exclusive. I also just uploaded a sweet run of 5-0ing a league with Dimir Tempo featuring Moonshadow. Before running those leagues, I go over some card changes and I tweak the deck, and those changes did not disappoint, let me put it that way. But before we start today's video, I just want to read a message that I got the other day. So I can't really tell you who this is from, but I can tell you it's a peer of mine. Let's call it that way. It's a peer of mine in, the content creator space. I just wanted to say I really admire your composure and your positivity in your videos. I'm still working on staying positive, but it's inspiring to see you do so. So I read this aloud for 2 reasons. First of all, it really means a lot to me that, because this guy didn't have to write me, right? He could just think that to himself or not even notice it at all. But I'm very happy that he notices my excitement about the game. I want competition. I don't care who's losing or winning. I'll always do my best that I'm going to be the one to win. But that doesn't change the quality of my experience and what Magic offers to my life. So I'm very grateful for that player to noticing that and reaching out, because second of all, it takes a lot of courage to write a message like this, right? It takes a lot of balls to be like, I still have way to go, but I aspire to go here. So keep working on yourself, and I'm sure you'll end up where you want to be with the exactly that version of yourself you want to be. All right, I just wanted to get that out of the way because it actually meant a lot to me. Blue Black Big Tempo. We know the drill here. Couple of hymns, couple of Strixes to go bigger. 1 more land and minus a daze to kind of, supplement those changes. Removal split, Snuff Out still good. Fatal Push still the bread and butter. Kaito still strong, #1 reason to play the deck. That's why the Strixes are here. And then I have played 3 fatties for a while, and those have been 3 Murktide Regents. So in a perfect world, it's just Murktide Regent, but this is a way for me to buy myself another sideboard slot, which I needed for this week. So I've swapped the Baraggoyf into the main instead of a Murktide Regent. Let's see if it comes up. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. And I've done that to fit some sideboard cards. Sideboard currently contains 3 consigns. We need that, Eldrazi, and, all the other stuff, whether it's Painter, Storm, Doomsday, or what have you. Surgicals for the fast graveyard stuff. Couple of negations for combo and Lance. Surgical with the crossover there, very important. 1 borrower to get to 2, just, Murktide coverage, Chalice coverage, Married Lage coverage, what have you. The second Baraggoyf is still here. I still like 2 in my 75. The sweeper split has changed a little bit. I still love Toxic Deluge, but I've snuck a Massacre in here with Energy and Death and Taxes on the rise. I think this card could be a sweet 0-mana play. Then I added Explosives because Mono Red Prison plays Chalice, Eldrazi plays Chalice. Maybe you can get lucky against some creature decks. Sheldur's Edict, still good. Takes care of Kaito. Bread and butter removal spell. Coverage against Married Lage. Then I added a Dismember instead of the second Edict. So with Magus of the Moon back, Eldrazi's are there. 1 mana removal is always good in certain matchups. I think it's time for Dismember to provide some value. And single copy of Hydroblast to kind of respect the mono red return. People still like their Izzet decks, and they will play Sneak and Show, and they will play Hexing Squelcher out of random combo decks. So I think this card should have good utility in the week to come. That's going to do it for the deck tech. Let's get into some games. All right, we start the day off with a fun misclick. I won the die roll and let my opponent play first, which is really funny. I haven't had that before. I guess my arm just slipped in the exact millisecond that I was going to click, and then boom, what do you know? I'm playing against a known Doomsday player, and yeah, I can't say I love the misclick. Let's see. I'm actively hoping for my opponent to play turn 1 Tamiyo, which is kind of a cool pattern with that card. Did you frequently want your opponent to play it? You don't want your opponent to play it. So days are very, very, very bad on the draw here compared to on the play. Ponder, keep them. All right. Here's a land that I think is better to play out than a normal land. Yeah, I've been playing against this player quite a bit in the past. And I remember they used to rack up top 8s, etc. Okay, so here's the confirmation. So in this spot, I mean, what can we dream of? The opponent casting Doomsday and me winning the counter war. So I am not gonna get dazed here. I think that would just be bad. So let's float a blue, cast daze. Okay, so game 1 looks to be over. Force a will. The opponent had daze. That's good to know about. Yeah, I can't recommend giving your opponent the play. That is not smart. Because now I have so many cards that aren't live, like Ponder is way worse. Thoughtseize way worse. Orky's Bowmaster's way worse. So we're gonna learn a little bit about the opponent's deck here. Let's just take note. We are spotting Personal Tutor, so a 0 creature build. Knight's Whisper. So the opponent's going old school here. That's cool. Let's see if we can do anything about that. I have a Fatal Push. My deck has Snuff Out in it. And here's the Ponder. Always love to see that. Let's cast Ponder. Try and find Force Will. We find Force Will and we find Daze. Let's try and understand. Yeah, Force Will is just better. And then what about the turn after? They want to draw Daze or Thoughtseize on the turn after. I could actually see Thoughtseize being more impactful in a game where my opponent slows down now because of this. Like me keeping the Ponder. And then I somehow get to snag the Oracle out of their hand. It does look like a double Oracle pile, though, which is problematic. Ah, that that devilish misclick. It's too funny. Here's Brainstorm. So let's see here. Cast Brainstorm, 1 card in deck. Put 2 cards back. I feel like the way for me to win this is by forcing this Brainstorm. Yeah, let's try. So force this Brainstorm. I basically have to get into a spot where... Okay, never mind. I have to get into a spot where this Fatal Push is game over. I don't know what I can realistically catch here. Okay, Naked Force. I think I'm just dead here, but let's see. My next card is what? My next card is Daze. And since the opponent had to land, I mean, I'm sure they... Okay, so here's Oracle. Fatal Push. Now the opponent rearranges another one and I'm dead, I think. Maybe I'm not dead if I have exactly Thoughtseize underneath here. Because I think my opponent is gonna... Well, they could brick here, I guess. Okay, they drew the Cavern. So now what do I have to draw? I think I can't draw anything anymore. Let's think. Brazen Borer attacking for 3. What does that do? I mean, there's no chance my opponent's last 2 cards are not Cavern and Oracle. Right? Yeah, I simply think that's the only option. So decking my opponent and playing this card out does the exact same. So what is this? This is something like I have to draw Brainstorm, which then fixes my hand into force blue card him to Torok. Okay. I think that's what needs to happen. Because I need to clear the cavern. Here's Snuff Out, which is funny. I would have needed to clear out the cavern and then have a hard counter for the Oracle. All right, that's cool. All right, here's the Oracle. The opponent had a couple of shots in the chamber there. I didn't like that. Well, against a setup like this with no creatures, would they board in Baraglyphs? I have some easy cuts here, and I have some easy adds here, I think. Second Brazen is fine because I'm relying on forces. So now it's basically how many consigns can I fit? I cut a Wasteland for the first consign. I think that's pretty easy. I could cut one push for one consign. I think that's also very, very smart. I think every other card here is going to help me, even against Baraglyph. And I still have, like, Kaito, Double, Brazen. Maybe I should just cut all the pushes, because Baleful Strix is also good against... is also good against Baraglyph. Okay. We can try this. That was a cool one. My hand was medium, and giving my opponent the play was backbreaking. Okay, this looks fine. I'm not sure, like, in theory, the opponent could go, like, cut the weakest, like, the support combo cards, add Baraglyphs, and still have more or less the same deck. I think that would be pretty good for a setup against Dimir tempo. Let's see. This Tameo is a great start, but funnily enough, I'm weak to Turbo Doomsday, and I'm also weak to having a bad, you know, bad cards on top of my deck. Turn and Ponder, we do like that. Opponent shuffles, so now looks like Wasteland is good. Thoughtseize is terrible. It's all about whether this Brainstorm resolves or not, I think. Let's cast Brainstorm. Brainstorm resolves and we hit bricks. Okay. Well, so now we're in Tameo mode. So I guess I should hide them. Nope, I shouldn't hide the Murktide. I should hide the Consign was what I'm trying to say. And what card on... I mean, let's just hide Bowmasters underneath. I think that's fine. Or maybe Second Thoughtseize. So this card is flipped, plus Brick here. I only have a layer of Force of Will. Next turn, I have nothing as well. Not ideal. Not ideal. Here's Brainstorm, so that's fine. The opponent's probably searching for a combo kill, because Tameo is kind of a clock, right? The opponent also knows I'm drawing 2 bricks in a row because of Brainstorm and no land. Okay, they have to pass here. I guess that's good for me. Let's draw the blue card plus the Tameo, pass the turn. If I have to force, I'll pitch the Murktide. Then next turn I can bring back the force if I want to. Sometimes you have to play with what you have, and some unfortunate occurrences like I give my opponent the play, that's atrocious. I break on a Brainstorm, that's atrocious, right? And then your tournament could just, in theory, just end. So Magic's a lot about embracing that, the how fragile it is, essentially. Oh, I wonder if this is... Okay, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is a resolved spell. Doomsday. So now I think my opponent's going to power this through, but let's do this. This smells a little bit of Flusterstorm, I must say. Okay, they have their own Force of Will. Pitch Lorien revealed. That is fine. So now... I think I'm drawing another brick. So what if I take back Force of Will here? Then I think I'm just in the same predicament, because the opponent can have the Brainstorm countered, then go for it the following turn, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm actually going to plus the Tameo here, and hope the consign is good enough. Basically, I'm saying I want my opponent to, you know, be under pressure because of the Tameo, and then I quote-unquote time walk with the consign. And then I hopefully find the next consign. Let's see, how many did I bring in? I did bring in all 3. So lots of cyclers out here. Double Oracle in the pile. Murktide from the sideboard alongside a non-zero number of Bowmasters. The opponent still has a couple of cards, but I don't think I can worry about that. If I'm losing to Orcish Bowmasters, I think that's whatever. Like I think if I'm minus now, I'm just gonna lose to the double barrel. So let's draw. Let's plus, let's pass. And now let's see if we can survive this turn. That's basically all it's about. Wasteland. Pass. So the opponent is now going to cook me with Orcish Bowmasters, which is unfortunate. Never mind. Okay, they're going to play it now. Yes, that works. So that goes to 7, and now I need to draw a land, not just lose. Knight's Whisper. Knight's Whisper it is. The opponent's at 6, 2-card library. You can probably Oracle next turn. So I need to draw a land here to kill the Bowmasters, but I don't. So now I can draw 24. That doesn't really do anything. I think my only move is to return the Force of Will. Pass, discard him to Torok. Yeah. Well played by the opponent. Pouncing on. First of all, ooh, that's sick. Pouncing on, first of all, my mistake, and second of all, my stumbling here. That's just magic, right? That's what you should do. So the opponent is going to do what exactly? Attack the Tameo. So why don't they just go Oracle? So here's... I believe there's another Oracle coming next turn, yeah. So now I will consign this. And I have to draw another consign or I'm dead. Well played by the opponent here. This is a great example of the timing on that Bowmaster is the reason why this card is on 2 and not 3, right? If it's on 3, I get back the consign, but it's on 2, so the opponent heavily outplayed me here. The opponent has 0 cards in hand and 1 card in deck, so I am dead here. Well played, well played. And here's the land. Very well played here by the opponent, setting up a stack that is resilient to, you know, getting forced and what have you, and then having the Bowmaster in the back pocket here. That was sick play by the opponent. All right, let's see if we can click yes next time we win the die roll. Guys, the first Eco Championship qualifier is here. February 7th is where it's going to go down. It's going to be 7 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be 1600 hours CET, depending on where you are in the world, of course. And we're going to be playing Legacy for a bunch of treasure chests, but also we're going to be playing for a slot in the yearly finals at the end of the year, as you can see on this graphic. So become a member over on Metafy or send me a message and go grab your guest ticket. I can't wait to see you there. All right, let's play some more Magic. This time, my opponent is on the play to begin with, so I don't have to give the, what do you call it? We call it a horseshoe in my language. I don't know what it's called. Ooh, this looks like energy. This hand isn't exactly something to write home about, but I think it's good enough. Here's days. Yeah, I mean, we can't kill the pride. We don't have Orcish Bowmasters at the ready. Very happy with how I played there with my land sequence here. So let's cast Brainstorm in response here to learn about our future. Holy smokes, this is terrible. Well, these dazes are probably quite bad unless I fire now. Maybe what I should do is like this. Only problem with this play is then I can get wasted next turn if I want to shuffle away the sewers. Let's daze that and replay the island for Tamiyo. I think that's the move. Tamiyo's my best move against Ocelot stuff. Here's a Johnny. Here's another Daze. Can't say I love dazing stuff here. Okay, the opponent does have red mana. The army over there is growing. Yeah, let's do this. Now, the question is, what's more important, the 1 damage I'm saving or the clue in the bank? Yeah, I think it's a tough one. Also, I play the island here in case I draw Murktide Regent, so I can play that and hopefully stabilize. Raptor. Thoughtseize. All right, well, we can go next here. We got run over on the draw there against Boros Energy. That's a very, very likely thing to happen. But Days and Forests, I don't love those cards. I love all of these cards. They can definitely put in a shift. Now, how much do I like him to Torak? Him is probably too timing sensitive. So what if I play like this? I think this is fine. Days and him are sometimes very clutch and sometimes very, very bad. And playing against Boros Energy kind of magnifies that. Let's try this. All right. Lots of goodies in my opener. So we can play turn 1 Tamiyo. If it gets killed, we have another. And we can kind of try and wait for a blowout. We are even somewhat Thoughtseize proof. Best thing that can happen here is I get plowed. Yep, that's very good for me because I have another one and I have a surveil land. And if I can get, like, just imagine I get Kaito going and I massacre. That's crazy. Okay, I don't get Kaito going, so there's that. The opponent could have the, I mean, the opponent could have the next plow, but if they don't, I really like my spot. Throwing the double Tameo against the one removal is a recipe for winning games of Legacy. Let's see if we manage to do that this time around. Opponent takes Massacre, so they have the second plow. Okay. That's annoying. Wasteland. So wastelanding here, how do I feel about that? That could buy a lot of time with the way the opponent has been playing. Okay, we can try that. It's not really my favorite strategy because the opponent could easily just have like the next land and I look like a fool, so pretty high variance decision there. There's Ocelot Pride with no land drop, so I guess we did find that. So here I think I'm gonna cast Toxic Deluge to set up for the Kaito next turn. Toxic Deluge, not exactly my favorite time to play that card. Here's another Pride, okay. So I think what I should do here is stun the Pride and then hopefully start to get going. Let's see. Okay, the opponent had to pass there. That's very good for me. Yeah, I should try and, you know, keep it up here, find my Baragoi, find my Murktide, etc. Let's see. Ponder is a good one. These cards are scaringly bad. I'm actually gonna shuffle, which kind of sucks. Bowmasters is great. And now let's Thoughtseize. Let's assume the opponent draws a land. I think that's the best way to play a situation like this. We'll take out the Pyroblast. Okay, they break here. So now I think I should Bowmaster. Okay, next game. So the opponent bricked on land. I was lucky to pick up on that with the Wasteland decision. The opponent saw that I'm running Toxic and Massacre. So I guess Cabal Therapy is a good reason to split those two, which is kind of funny. On the draw, I mean, Daze and him didn't get better now, so I should probably have the same setup. Just let the opponent think a little bit. And we're off to game 3. None of these other cards make any sense. So, all right. I'm not going to say the sweepers did any, you know, huge work there. The game was just randomly favored for me there. Okay. This looks like I can prevent things from getting out of hand. And then, you know, the opponent can, of course, draw their good cards off the top of the deck later. We learned about Pyroblast the other game. We learned about Cabal Therapy still being in the deck. And here we learn about the opponent doesn't want to get wasted out of the game. All right, let's Thoughtseize here. Let's take the Bowmaster. Cabal Therapy, I feel like, is pretty timid here. Why did they fetch Plains? I think they could have gone for some dual action. Ball Therapy. Am I just gonna... Yeah, let's just snuff out that card in response. Now, I mean, what is my opponent gonna name here? If they hit a Bowmaster here, they're strong. But I don't think that's possible. Yeah, Brainstorm, that's a solid move. So Scrubland is gone. I have a second Bowmaster coming here. I should probably fetch Basic Island to get that card going. Yep. Land pass. So this spot looks great, but that deck has like a Johnnies and Raptors that are very, very dangerous cards. Land to the yard. Let's see if we can do some cool things with Bowmasters. We can't. Let's fetch Basic Island, slam Bowmaster here is good. Try and get it going, open up some draws. This is bad. I'm not going to play the second, because if my opponent draws a Bowmaster, I need to know what's going on. Be on top of that. Opponent has 3 cards. Look, that could be like Pyroblast, Plows that they don't want to pounce with. This card is good. I'm sorry about that one. So what happens if I go Bowmaster's end of turn, bring them to 15, attack for 4, that's 11. Play 5/5. So this could be time to try and turn up the heat on the opponent. Let's try it. Getting in there. The opponent's at 11. I failed to lure out the Plow. Let's see. Dismember. I kind of want Dismember with some mana up. Can I... What if I fetch... The thing is I play Brainstorm Ponder and I want the fetch for later, so maybe the move is this. Play the land, play Murktide like this. So I have the land in play in case I draw Brainstorm. So this card will just get Pyroblasted or whatever. I'm pretty sure about. Land into the yard, so the opponent's been very, very mana heavy this game. This will get plowed or blasted, yep. So this is basically why I try to turn up the heat with these creatures, because if my opponent, you know, decides to fire a Plow there, then, you know, my Murktide can walk free. Wasteland I don't care about. Massacre is atrocious right now. That's a really funny draw. Let's play the land out in case I need to, I don't know, dismember a failure for a full amount or something. All right, the opponent's at 6. I have a spot removal that they know about. And this is probably the turn where the opponent needs to get there. Let's see. Amped Raptor. Amped Raptor, yes. Go for it, buddy. Let's see. The opponent hits Thoughtseize, which is atrocious. Oh, wow. They actually cast the card. Okay. So I'll dismember in response. The opponent will go to 4, and then they need to beat me with their last card, which is Ocelot Pride. Okay, I draw a removal spell like a G. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. This was a very weird match. Went from doing nothing to the opponent doing nothing. And yeah, just get over the finish line. Worth noting is if I hang on to these Bowmasters, we still have some kind of game here. I'm not going to tell you it was right. I'm just going to tell you it worked out. And yeah, the opponent drew abysmally this game. So not sure what to make of that. But yeah, sweepers looked pretty cool, but didn't find a good spot for it this time around. All right, let's play one more. All right, let's play one more match of Magic here. I'm actually playing against a member of mine, which is always cool. This hand looks fine. It looks like him to Torok, is going to be my first play, and I don't want to get Tammioed. Marsh Flats pass. So I'm expecting this to be some kind of blue-black mirror match, but I haven't kept up that well with what Florian is doing these days. Very capable blue mage. Here's Tamiyo. Okay. Yeah, that card is pretty darn strong. Undercity Sewers. Fatal Push. Okay, I have a new plan. I need to kill that card. Here's the Fatal Push. Pass the turn. Hopefully, I get to him to Torag around Days next turn. Okay, double basic land draw. That's cool. Thoughtseize. So that can take care of the hymn if Florian doesn't like that card. There's also the Kaito looming. Him to Torag hits the yard. Pass. Okay, so no second Tamiyo at the very least. That card is so backbreaking. Let's play a land and pass the turn. So now we are in a little bit of a funny situation where he knows I have a Bowmaster and a Kaito. So there's some kind of pressure on the game. Let's see what this is. This is probably him to Torag in the other direction. I wonder what the best odds play is here. Because I really want to keep the Kaito. I think this just resolves, and I hope to keep the Kaito. Okay. So, nice hits from the opponent. And, I mean, what can I do next turn? I think I just need to slam the Kaito. I draw Tamiyo. So the best I can hope for here is getting forced, I think. I don't think this is ever going to resolve, but let's see. Kaito resolves. Sweet. Now what? Probably want to set up my next draw. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set up the next draw. I mean, I like these cards, except for the fact that Orcish Bowmasters could easily be my opponent's hand. I'm gonna get rid of both. I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to get cooked by Bowmaster. Let's see what the opponent has going on. They could have their own Kaito here. I guess that's not the best play. Here's Thoughtseize. That's a good play. So now the opponent gets to clear the way and hopefully for them at least slam, I don't know, Bowmasters maybe? I guess this could be a 3-mana play since the opponent's fetching. Into Torek, that's good. So I guess I should cast that card to learn about what to do with my Kaito. Cast him. I expect my opponent to have Orcish Bowmasters. This is why I mean, I don't have Ponder Brainstorm in this spot. I also feel like if they don't have that card, I'm kind of cruising in this game. So now, it's funny. The opponent could be in a situation where 2 of the cards are Bowmasters, which very well may be the case. Okay, so they decide to have a Bowmaster and lose the rest of the hand. I expect 1 more Bowmaster? No? Ooh, baby. So now I should probably just, like, emblem and attack? Yeah, let's emblem and attack. So very, very juicy hymn here from my side. I mean, also from the opponent, right? But this was very good because I have the clock going on here. I'm trying to attack for 4. So I have a 3-turn clock here going on, but, you know, my opponent will draw something. I really like my spot if they have a brick turn here, but this is where the chips are down. It's this draw step for my opponent and my next draw step. don't like the thinking pause here. This smells of Kaito. What if they drew another Bowmaster? Then they can... Okay, so they were deciding whether to chum block or not. Okay, this is funny. So this means they want to chum block, I guess. So I think I'm okay with the chum block. Here's the block. If they drew another Bowmasters, they didn't. Okay, so I had a bad draw. The opponent had a bad draw. Now, what is next? I think if the opponent has to chum block with Bowmasters, it's a sad day. It looks like that's what they're trying to do. Ooh, that was the draw I needed. So now I'm fine just dealing 5. Okay. Well, maybe I should farm loyalty on the Kaito. Nah, maybe the Surveil is better. Let us Surveil. Do I now consider Ponder better than a random card? Yes. I'll pass the turn. A couple of ninja emblems in play. That's cool. The opponent needs some good cards, but the problem is they had good cards, they would have already cast them. So they can have one good card. I guess force blue card is possible, and then drawing a good card now. Well, land is certainly not what you're looking for in this spot. Here's Kaito probably getting in there. Yep, let's attack with Kaito and try and draw some magic cards. Maybe I should ponder first. Is this Orcish Bowmasters? I will ponder first. The opponent doesn't have it. Okay. So this is why you ponder first, because I have a good card and 2 bad cards. And now I can Kaito the 2 bad cards. Thoughtseize, which, funnily enough, is probably just going to see like a Force or a Daze, but I think it's still worth it. Let's Thoughtseize here. It's annoying that if I see Daze, I have to take Daze. Because I want to slam the Murktide. Okay. So why does the opponent still have Kaito in hand? Big question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plan 8, 8. Pass the turn. I don't care about the Kaito in hand, so I'll just force the next card, and we're on our way to sideboarding. So let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards with the Edict to bring in instead of forces. All right. Force Will of the Strix. That card is a good card that stops Murktide and can draw into stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. We have a good setup for the mirror match. A couple of dazes that I don't love, but can be fine. Yeah, I got lucky here. My draw basically couldn't do anything aside from slamming that Kaito and hoping for the best after getting himmed, and then things worked out for me after that. You know, I had a great hymn. I played decently well with the Kaito, expecting the Bowmaster, and then, yeah, Kaito cannot stay on the battlefield for so many turns. All right, this hand is not bad. This hand is totally fine. So this is a good example of snuff out. Like, if they go Tamio, I can play land, kill Tamio, and keep doing my stuff, which is awesome. This looks like a good time to fire off the Ponder, depending on what I draw here, of course. Which land am I doing it off of? So now it's basically a matter of, do I think that I need to snuff out Wasteland on the following turn? I want that flexibility. Do I want Bowmasters in another land? No. So let's shuffle here. Funnily enough, this gives off the impression that I'm soft on mana, but in reality, it was just a terrible ponder. So now imagine a situation of, I don't know, the opponent goes basic land, Tamiyo, then I go snuff out, kill the sea. Like that would be. Ooh, him to Torque. So let me rearrange my hand here. So now, let's see. Okay, so I guess we take that. So let's see. Tamiyo's great. Tamiyo's a great draw here. I actually think I'm going to keep my opponent off 3 mana. So I'm going to play like this. I'm going to go Tamiyo, play around Days, Wasteland the Underground Sea, pass. And now I'm either going to force my opponent to... Okay, let's see here. Ooh, so this could be a good bait. Let's say they actually have the lands, but maybe we hit a soft spot here. Who knows? Ponder and a Wasteland. Let's... Okay, do you have the Snuff Out? You don't have the Snuff Out. Sure. Okay, so the opponent probably has the next land, I will say. But they don't have the removal for Tamiyo, which is huge for me. Play that card. I mean, I have the Clue, I have the Kaito. This is actually not that trivial. But maybe I should just trust my deck here. If I could waste it again, I'll play off basics here while having a Tamiyo, hopefully. Here's the Fatal Push. So now the question is, do they have a land? They don't have a land. They don't have a land. That is a good one. So now I should go land, crack Clue, pass. And I draw another land, so getting rid of that one was awesome. Here's Brainstorm. That's fine. So this is where I expect my opponent to get, into the game. The Hymn they cast and the Clue I cracked makes us exactly even, I believe, in resources. Fatal Push. Not bad, not bad. So fetch land, pass. So this could be a long one. We're both trying to find, Hymn and Thoughtseize before making a move, I would imagine. So brutal. Now I think what I'm supposed to do is jam Bowmasters, hope to keep Kaito, which is not good because if I lose Kaito, I went first on the Bowmasters, so I guess roll dice. Where's the lucky spot, you think, guys? I think the lucky spot is over here. Dang, Kaito goes to the graveyard. So very nice hymn from the opponent. 2 hymns versus 0. Not good, not good. Kaito. We end up getting super flooded here in the mid game. Yeah, that's what happens. Right? Was it lucky that my opponent, were struggling on lands, or was it lucky that I stuck my Tamiyo, or, that's a lot of it's easy to make a narrative that makes you look like the guy who with the universe is out for. But I think I like my play here, slamming the Bowmasters. It's a 50-50 chance I just win on the spot, in my opinion. I get to bring back the Bowmasters with the Kaito. I think it's reasonable to play like this when you're heavily behind after getting him twice. Murktide Regent. I don't mind that card. So I guess I should just take the turn and see what happens. I draw Dismember. That's actually huge. So now, am I willing to get double dazed is essentially the question. You know what? I'll dare my opponent to double daze me. Let's attack for 2, keep the land in hand. Because of future brainstorms. note that this card does not kill Baragoyf nor Bowmasters, so how big is the Baragoyf? Baragoyf's too big, I think. Land, instant sorcery. Yeah, Baragoyf's too big, so here's an Brazen Burrower. Sorcery speed. What is the point of that? I have no idea. But I don't want to get Kaito'd, that's the thing. So let's fetch this one, play Wasteland, snuff out that card, Wasteland, and I'm gonna keep going with the chip damage here. I'm in a pretty bad spot, so I need my opponent to draw like Kaitos and Baragoyfs that are uncastable. Cast, like, draw Thoughtseize here from behind would be great as well for me. Okay. There's a 6/6. Love that draw. Baleful Strix into Thoughtseize. Sure. Now, since I'm shuffling anyway, I should play out my land first and not get double dazed. Do I want to draw this Thoughtseize, or do I want a freshie? I think I want to draw this Thoughtseize. So that puts me to 17, but that's fine. The opponent has a lot of clunky cards here. So the problem is the moment they draw Bowmaster, they unlock a lot of this hand. So how do I play with that in mind? I could just take the Kaito here, because that is like the card that leads to bad stuff down the road. Brazen Borrower. That card is not very impressive right now. It could easily be that in the future, though. What about Tamiyo? Maybe I want my opponent to draw more Tamiyos in this spot. Kaito. Yeah, I think this is going to be a long one. Let's take Kaito. And not going to attack here. I have to fetch away whatever the next card is. Here's Tamiyo. Yes. The opponent can't attack. I'll fetch my last land, I believe. Let's see if we can draw Banger. That is sort of a banger, but not for now. It's for way later, I feel like. There's something about that Murktide, which is a little bit of a time bomb, because they're going to find an answer for Baleful Strix eventually. Let's see. Can we do it? Draw land. All right. How do I break out of this? Because they also have a Brazen Borrower. I guess Baragoyf is one of the best cards to break out of it. The opponent's passing. More land. Tamiyon plays also Edict Protection, which is kind of cool. Thoughtseize. So now I have to cast this card. Show them a hand of double land. They're at 11. Kaito, Baragoyf. Let's see. I guess removal spell for the Murktide is amazing. Hymn to Torg is so good here. Let's see if we can hit some juicy ones. So if the opponent bounces something in response like the token, I really don't think I care. Okay, they do bounce the token in response. All right, so that card is gone. Strix and Snuff Out hits the bin. That's good for me. So worth noting is that this Brazen Borrower will be a decent attacker into the current board. They should probably jam it now and not let me draw the days. Oh, wow. They want to ponder here. I think that's a little bit crazy. So now, do they plan to flip the Tameo? Did I just miss that? If they flip the Tameo here... Yeah, they could have flipped the Tameo here. Here's the Brazen. That's good timing. So that card is still there. Here's Murktide Regent. So play this as an 8/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, do I attack with Baleful Strix? I don't think so. Let's just pass the turn. The opponent has a double block lined up, but that's not really a concern, right? If they lose both of their flyers, I think I'm doing fine. Here's Fatal Push on the Baleful Strix, which allows for what? Nothing? Sure. Snuff Out is insane here. So now, what happens if I kill... Maybe I should just let my opponent commit to the double block. What happens if I attack with everybody here? They can chum block and, I don't know, eat a Bowmaster. I think this attack is fine. What if I attack with everybody and I kill the Murktide Regent? Alright, let's try this out. See if it works. I should have done this before declaring attackers, obviously. I'm getting a little bit time crunched here. Have to finish this off. So let's see. The opponent needs to chum block and go to 5 here, I think. Nope. Chum block and go to 3. Maybe their last card is Tameo with the way they play here. Can they draw an 8/8? That's probably the question here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One short. Baragorth is live, though. Pass. I draw Brainstorm. So I'm not going to fire the Brainstorm because part of what the opponent can have here is Orcish Bowmasters. So we should go directly to combat here. So if the opponent found Bowmasters here on the last turn, they can do some solid stuff. I'm going to respond to this Bowmaster because I don't think you have two. You just drew this card. Okay. So put back Land Wasteland. Let's see. I think this is exactly lethal because they kill Bowmaster, block a Bowmaster, chum block Murktide, and then I return the Orc army for the win here. Oh, never mind. They can block here. Let's see. So now they will start counting Bowmasters and Kaitos remaining and figure they're okay going to 1. And then here's the ninja to end the day. Pretty cool game. Pretty cool game. Yep. Game over. This is exactly 3 damage. And yeah, nice little grind fest here to end off the video, as always. Thanks so much for watching. And yeah, thank you so much for 4 Seasons for sponsoring my adventure over here. It's truly magical to turn on the camera and upload to YouTube. So hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. If you want to check out the YouTube membership, please do so. I can highly recommend the Moonshadow run. That was a glorious 5-0 run. So yeah, go check it out and see you back next time.